Little Indiana Jones for us. Raiders of the Lost DBZ. All right, excited to get into this one. We got a couple big-time champions here, especially in 2019, actually. Both of them getting their big championship in 2019. And now we're going to be seeing a nice best-of-5 finals between the two of them a few years later. Let's hop in, join our players here on Dragon Scales for map number 1. Speaking of dragons, the upper left-hand corner for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is our Red Zerg player, 2019 Blizzcon World Champion. It is Dark, with the dark portrait, because he knows he is the best. His opponent in the lower right-hand corner, the 2019 Katowice champion. Defeater of soO in that bracket. Some might say that's an even more impressive win here. In that same year, soO coming off of his 2018 couldn't be stopped year. And soO stopped him right away at the start of 2019. But of course, for the Afrika Freaks, it is our blue Zerg player, soO. I don't know what a ZVZ between these two is going to look like. For a long time, the Korean ZVZ meta, and by that I mean the meta between Dark and Rogue, was like 12 pulls and proxy hatches, and just got kind of insane for a while there. But we have moved a little bit past that. Rogue is sadly no longer playing. I believe he's doing his military service at the moment. And soO, recently returning from his military service, is going to be kind of on a different plane of what the meta is to him. Now, he's been back for a while. Of course, he's been part of the ladder in these tournaments and stuff for a few months now. So he's going to be pretty familiar with everything, but it's still going to be a little bit different. He wasn't necessarily here playing in all those tournaments, developing the meta like maybe he would be more used to. So he's still going to have kind of his own style. Interested to see how it matches up against Dark here. Of course, a lot of ZVZ is still Roach versus Roach, if you can get past the Ling Bane wars. And honestly, when it comes to Roach versus Roach, for a long time I would say soO was the best in the world. Dark right up there, though. I mean, both of these players won a bunch of really insanely high-level ZVZs to win their big championships. Zerg was incredibly dominant in 2019, and I mean there was just a lot of ZVZ. So, guys, very, very good at the high-level Zerg versus Zerg. We don't see a ton of it these days. Of course, you do have Raynor versus soO, but as I mentioned, Rogue's been gone for a bit, so Dark's been kind of on his own when it comes to ZVZ over in Korea. Ragnarok has shown some real promise in the other matchups, but I don't know that his ZVZ is the strongest. Really hard to say. I just haven't seen much of it. Maybe we'll figure some things out together during this match. It's always fun to learn. Ooh, that's a lot of links coming across here for Dark. Speed done a little bit earlier for him. soO does get the spot with the Overlord. He's going to try to go for a bit of a wall. He also goes Queens up, though. Queens are not in position, and the Lings here for Dark are going to jump on top of them, taking advantage of the fact that wall is not completed. And soO, a bit of a blunder here, going to lose both of those Queens. He does have more Lings on the way, but of course there's more Lings coming for Dark as well. Dark going to get on top of this third Queen, and now it is just the Lings here for soO trying to defend. soO is up 10 workers, so he can't afford to lose a few of these. He's going to run them into the main base, and the Lings will try to push Dark's Lings away. Dark has a third base up, so if he can kill this third, that'll put him in a nice position. But of course there is a Bane nest, which means there's a couple Banes coming down for soO. Love to see him morph a few more here. Dark trying to be very careful in the Ling Bane wars, but big blunder there from Dark. Loses a lot of Lings. He sends a few into the natural, but soO is ready with some reinforcements to push these away. Dark, though, he's not done yet. He's got his own Banelings here, and he's going to try to push up this ramp. soO might want to try to smash one Baneling and trade it a little bit. The Banes are coming in trying to hit the drones, but soO is still up 10 workers, and these Banes are just not connecting super well for Dark. soO continuing to hold on. The Lings are going to go hit the main base, but it's just 5 of them. The drones can kind of just fight this and win. And as we see, they kill 3 of them. The Lings kill the other 2. Dark is continuing to pressure because he absolutely has to. But this is looking very, very good for soO. We've got another queen out right at the front. We've got more Lings coming out with that superior drone count. He's just going to be able to pump out more and more Lings. The third base has held. And soO looking very, very good here. These Banelings not going to make it very far. The queen eats both of those shots, but she don't care. She's staying alive. 2 more Banes show up. They're going to try to dive forward onto the Lings. They do get some okay connections. They're going to start breaking through. That is not a wall there for soO. But the Baneling goes down. It's just the Lings trying again to get into the main base. But soO should be able to hold on with these reinforcements. And Dark in a lot of trouble here. Looking for that magic Bane connection, but soO is the one who got that at the start of this fight. That really allowed him to hold on. I mean, Baneling's trying to get on top of drones. Dark is droning back at home, but he's still only at 28. soO maintaining a drone lead even as he's losing 3 of them. He's still up 7. And that just puts him in such a good spot. Look at that army supply, 28-17. Now it's soO's turn to go push across the map. He's got roaches on the way, and he's got that +1. Remember when I talked about this in the other series? soO has been really good about being on top of it with that +1 missile attack upgrade. Getting ready for the roach switch before the roach porn is even done. Honestly, maybe before it started. That does happen. Dark can try to counterattack, but soO has spotted this. He's going to catch these Lings. Oh, the connections. And we're seeing soO just straight up outplay Dark in the Ling Bane Wars. And that is some of the most exciting ZVZ I've seen in a while. Mainly because Dark's been looking insanely strong for years. soO, more recently coming back, he was looking very good. But winning a straight-up Ling Bane micro war against Dark, that is insanely impressive at any point in time from any player. That is insanely impressive. Dark taking some big Baneling hits on that one. What a hold from soO. Absolutely beautiful. Game 2 is going to be on Royal Blood. I do hope we get past the Ling Bane phase here. But I'm glad we got at least one like really fun early game too. The thing about ZVZ is like pretty much at any point in the game, you can decide I'm just going to make a bunch of units the next round and try to go kill my opponent. Any time in the first like 8 minutes of the game, that is a perfectly reasonable thing to try to do. And it can make it so volatile. Let's hop into game 2. Let's see who has the Royal Blood. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner, dropping the 12 pool. It is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark. It seems that 12 pool is still in vogue in Korean ZVZ. His opponent in the lower left-hand corner is, of course, the Afrika Freaks, soO, who earlier in Game 2 went for a 16 pool against Mio. But it looks like here he's just going to go for the early hatch, which is going to put him in a bit of a dicey situation up against the 12 pool. We'll see how much Dark ends up committing if he pulls all the drones, most of the drones, none of the drones, maybe even just 1 or 2 drones for some spines. That's also a strat. Oh, what a fun start to the ZVZ. This is one of my favorite things about this matchup, is it's like, we're just making units. We're not being, oh my god! Ah! Oh, it's the Spine Crawler Rush! soO does not have an Overlord nearby. Dark, what a hero. Alright, so the hatch cancel to the proxy Spine Crawler. This Spine Crawler is losing health almost as fast as it's gaining it, so it's going to start with not a lot of hit points, maybe like 150 or so. Maybe a little bit more than that. but it's going to be right on creep almost right away. So as this hatch finishes up here for soO, there's just going to be a spine crawler right next to his base. The fact that he has not spotted this is very unfortunate. Spine's actually going to pick up and just move right on the creep. It does start with about 172 hit points, and it will start to regain those as it burrows here. Drones coming down for soO. soO, there's a spine crawler here. You actually can't hold this, right? Lings are going to turn around and fight as they feel like they can kill the drones and kill the hatch. They're going to kill a couple of drones, I think, while the spine crawler finishes the hatchery. Dark starts running away as soO is forced to retake this base. He did lose 2 drones and a lot of lost mining time, and he lost the hatch. He is going to try to counterattack with the lings he has. He's got 10 lings out. Dark's going to have to remake some lings back at home. He's also got this queen. And I think the queen and the reinforcement lings, Dark should have plenty to hold this. soO is supply blocked. He's got 2 overlords on the way because he lost that hatchery, which adds supply. Queen and lings here should be plenty for Dark to hold. He might lose this queen, though. Yeah, soO's going to try to target that queen down. He will get her. So that's really nice. Killing that queen, that's pretty decent value here for soO on the counterattack. And while Dark will hold, he's actually down drones. So soO is mining really, really nicely in his main. And Dark has that hatchery, so he's going to be able to drone up quite quickly. But losing the queen is painful. And at this point, as the worker count starts evening out, soO's about to have this hatch again. So we might end up in a relatively even game. The resources lost is kind of crazy even. Weirdly, I would call this game almost dead even at this point. I mean, look at the supplies. Look at the worker count. The biggest thing here is speed is already about halfway done for soO, and that's going to give him a big advantage. Dark is almost certainly going to have to wall this off. Now, it's a very narrow gap. This is actually a really nice map to do like a 2-base roach play off of. But, of course, it's less map control. It should allow soO to be able to take a quick third. If soO gets a good read on this, he's already got some lings on the way. I think he can grab a nice quick third, put some pressure on, force Dark to just defend and try to get defensive roaches up. And, yeah, I feel like soO's going to be in a great spot here. Yeah, there's Dark starting the wall at the front. He's got to get this going soon, though. Ling speed is done. soO's still got a bunch of lings on the way. I think he's just going to send straight across the map. Those lings are going to spot this, and yeah, Dark's going to try to hold. I actually wouldn't hate a full wall here. I really wouldn't. This is kind of a lot of lings from soO. Of course, he could try to do the full wall with the creep tumor trick, but it looks like he's just going to straight up hold it. Try to hold it with the queens. Lings are going to bust through 1 queen, but they shouldn't be able to get to the next 2. Try as they might. Roach Warren's not done yet, though. Drones were getting ready to be pulled here. There's Dark with the +1. The Roach Warren finishing up. He starts up the lair. Classic 2-base Roach move here out of Dark. But like I said, soO, full freedom to take a third. Full freedom. And that's going to give him a really, really nice economic advantage once he starts droning up. Of course, he cut drones to get those lings out. So he's got a drone back up now. He's got his own +1 and his own Roach Warren on the way. But his lair is going to be quite a bit later. However, if you play defensive with roaches, roach speed being later isn't that important. It's not as important. It's still good to have, but we'll see if Dark uses his lair for anything else. If he tries to get into a spire, he does have 4 gases, so that's a distinct possibility. He could also try to go for a Roach Nidus. That's something that could really catch soO off guard. soO does not have full vision of his main. And like roaches and queens could also pop out kind of near the natural or near the third and put a lot of pressure on very quickly. Right now, though, Dark just getting that roach speed, pumping out roaches, taking that third base. I do like this for soO, but there's definitely a lot of opportunities for Dark to utilize his advantage of roach speed and the lair in general. Excuse me. You could even go into something like Burrow Tunneling Claws. We've seen Dark be a big fan of that. But we're now in the Roach versus Roach Wars. This is the real ZVZ territory here. soO obviously very, very strong at that. At one point, certainly the best Roach ZVZ player in the world. Which sounds kind of silly to say, but yeah, that's soO for you. The ultimate Roach boy. Does need to get some defenses up, but he's actually up an army supply right now. So as Dark moves across the map, +1 is done for both of them. Roach speed about to finish for Dark, but again, defensively, it's just not quite as important. Spinecrawler in a good position here. Not the biggest deal against Roaches, but anything can help. But we see the big thing here is soO's actually up in Roaches. So as Dark looks like he wants to push across the map, soO even a good army advantage here. Worker count pretty much dead even. +2 quite a bit quicker for Dark though. That's actually really important as we get into these higher level upgrades. That's going to be like a 30-second window where Dark might be able to take a fight up and upgrade. See if that becomes relevant at any point. Ooh, speaking of upgrades though, he's actually got Carapace on the way. I did not notice that. The second Evo chamber with Carapace. It's a little bit of a gamble maybe, because it is less units, but if Dark just chills, it could be very useful. All right, never mind. soO's doing it too, so I guess this is just the meta. Like you start +2 and you're like, all right, +1 Carapace time. There you go. Upgrade's pretty good unit. I think at this point you just build Roaches, you build Ravagers until you've gotten to the point you want to. Oh, I love seeing the contamination on the Evo chamber. Not a spell we see very often, but while this is happening, it stops the upgrade completely. This is actually really, really sick. I remember TLO doing that like way back in the day, and everybody was like, oh my god, he's so smart, because nobody else had ever done that. We see it a little more often these days, but still fun to see. Dark is going for the Burrow Tunneling Claws. soO is not going for that. Oh my god, another contamination. Jeez, this +2 is going to be super delayed. We see it was a 30-second difference roughly before, and now it's going to be, God, that's almost 90 seconds. That is a huge advantage for Dark, who's also going to have Carapace earlier. It means he's going to be up 2 upgrades for a while right now. I feel like Dark might want to push across the map and try to take advantage of this. As soO's maxed, Dark is pretty close to maxed. I feel like if he can get there and get across the map, that 2 upgrade advantage, I mean, you really want to try to utilize it, right? Guess not. Guess not. Waiting for that Burrow Tunneling Claws. We've got Spine Crawlers going up in the bases here for soO. So he must be thinking about, like, counterattacks and stuff. He doesn't have any detection, though. That could be a problem. I mean, like a static detection. He could just use Overseers. Those are pretty good. Well, we're going to start to see the burrowed Roaches potentially become a problem here for soO. Dark posturing out front with the Roach Ravager trying to distract him. Overseers will spot a few of these Roaches, so soO knows what's up now. Oh, yeah, and he's got Roaches in position to defend here. He's got Overseer with speed on the way. He is ready for this, and he's in the middle of the map here, trying to hold against the Roach Ravager of Dark. Dark is still up an upgrade, but that +2 about to finish for soO, despite being very delayed. It is about to be here. He's avoiding those vials so far. Does eat a couple, but pushes Dark down the ramp. And holding on against these burrowed Roaches is just so sick. Dark's going to be like, all right, 2 Roaches, this will be good. But everywhere there's a Spine Crawler. There's actually, these Spine Crawlers are, what a big brain play from soO. Yes, there's no detection to hit these underground, but just such a great way to defend against the burrowed Roach play. Dark pulls back home. The worker count very low for both players. 59 to 62. It's all about, I guess, balancing the amount of Roach Ravager you have versus the amount of drones you have. Obviously, more workers you can replenish faster. You can also tech faster. And we see Dark getting into the Lurker Den. It's a little bit earlier than soO's, but his Hive's quite a bit later as the Infestation Pit is not even done yet, but the Hive is halfway done for soO. So soO should be able to get into those Lurker upgrades quite a bit quicker. But both players are heading towards the Lurker play. And with the hive, that's going to be vipers as well. soO trying to run away, getting a little bit split up here with his army. And the fact that the burrowed roaches did absolutely nothing is just such a testament to the quality of play here from soO. He was ready for it. He was like, yeah, I know what you like to do, Dark. I know you like those burrowed roaches. Dark's got the same thought. He's got spine crawlers in his mineral lines. This must be the play. I mean, it feels like such a great way to deal with burrowed roaches. And run-bys and things like that, which can be so difficult to handle otherwise. Even if it doesn't kill the roaches, or if there's too many roaches, you can still buy time with just the investment of a spine crawler. Double expand here from Dark. So he's going to take the side base and start expanding forward a little bit. soO just taking the 1/5. We're going to see more burrowed roaches try to get some damage done. There's no spine crawler at this base, of course. That is not a detector, not Brood War. Oh, forces a cancel here, though, so soO pushing forward at a nice time. Going to try to dive in, but there is a lurker available. Lurker upgrades on the way for both of the players, but here's those roaches hitting that 5th base, and soO really needs to go back and defend. He's trying to push in over here as well, but he's not really going to be able to get too much done with these roaches. They're pushing up a ramp and now into a lurker. This base does go down. soO not able to save it, and oh no, some of these roaches and ravagers getting caught out a little bit. It looks like the biles will keep them safe. soO's little army over here gets pushed away. Oh, Dark is ready. He wants him to come back in so he can trap him. At the same time, Dark pushing at the front. You see 6 lurkers on the way for soO. They are close to having both of their upgrades. You know, it's interesting when the Hydra change came in, that Hydras are a little bit better to micro, a little bit faster. I thought we'd see more Hydras in these kinds of compositions. They have a little bit more DPS, and now that they micro more like the roaches, I was expecting to see a few more. Well, soO gonna dive in here. No Vipers or anything, but these lurkers a little bit exposed. One of them goes down. The biles will force the others to reposition, and that's gonna allow soO to get into a good position here. And oh, is this the range? Yeah, Dark does not have lurker range yet. He got the speedy burrow first. Maybe a bit of a mistake here, as soO's trying to take advantage of it, but by the time he slow pushes in, that's going to be done. In the meantime, burrowed roaches unburrow. Oh my god, there's a lurker though. Oh, the one lurker is actually just so good here. The Overseer going to stop these roaches from going anywhere. Wow. Sick play to have the one lurker there at that base with the spine crawlers. Very, very sick play. Dark just trying to hold these bases. He did get this one up. He's got his own single lurker here, a couple of Hydras. Quite a bit of defense at this base, actually. It's cool to see such static defense at the bases. I feel like that's not what I'm used to in ZVZ, but they're learning from the Protoss. soO finally retaking a 5th base. He is going to go for the double expand that Dark tried for earlier, but he desperately needs a 5th. Roach is barely staying safe for now. soO trying to push in over here. I think he wants to try to take this base down, but oh no, he leaves the lurkers all on their own, and Dark going to take advantage, kills a handful of those lurkers. Both players starting to bank, but look at soO's. How is soO's bank so big? I mean, he has traded quite a bit better, but 7.5k, 2.7k, he is way ahead in terms of the bank. Take a look at the units. He's down a few lurkers as well. That could be part of it. Dark sending all of his lurkers to the top side. Definitely going to stop this little attack. But we've got a lot of roaches trying to counterattack. Uh-oh. You got burrowed roach near the burrowed roach. Yo, dog, I heard you like burrowed roaches with your burrowed roaches. And these burrowed roaches going to have to unburrow here. But I think they'd win this fight if they had detection. Looks like they're just going to go against the spine crawlers and try to kill as many drones as possible. In the meantime, soO's still posturing over here, but it's a ton of lurkers. He is not going to be able to bust that. Oh, and the lurkers holding on against this little roach counterattack. 3 drones go down, and the spine crawlers die, so Dark will have to replace those, but Dark holds on to his base. soO holds on to his base. Just a bit of poking and prodding here and there. I just can't believe how massive soO's bank is. But Dark's got a massive amount of lurkers right now. Oh, huge biles on the Overseers as well. That is so sick. He's also got these Vipers out. It feels like Dark's late game maybe just a little bit more confident than soO, who is trying to get a lot of Hydras out. But yeah, there's the Vipers. There's some more lurkers pulling over to be a part of this fight. We do have some yoinks going off, some blinding clouds. Actually, incredible blinding clouds there from soO. Will force those lurkers back, but he does lose that base. This one is mining, but the lurkers are a little out of range of these roaches if they pop up. soO trying to build a few more lurkers here. He is very Hydra heavy, so he can absolutely afford to build a few more of those. He certainly got the money for it. Oh, there's some big yoinks. Oh, the Overseers. Oh my god, I think every single Overseer just got yoinked there. There's only one available right now for soO. So he's going to have to remake Overlords. He's supply blocked so many died. And you have to remake Overseers as well. Meanwhile, these roaches, again, just being annoying. We have to see one of the lurkers move down here and help defend those drones. Put some really nice damage there for Dark, killing units at the 5th base. Well, he himself has had that 5th base up and running for a very long time. So his economy should technically be better, even though he's just has so much less of a bank. soO gonna try to be annoying back here as well. It's just really not working for him. Meantime, we're getting some yoinks on both sides. As you'd expect, the trades almost dead even. Dark, very elite over here. soO just killed some of his own units. Oh, he wanted to morph some more lurkers, so he killed some of his ground units. I think he lost the roaches up here as well, which helps him out. These roaches are burrowed, but that means they're also not doing too much. Some burrowed roaches going to try to hit up here, but again, there's plenty to stop this from doing anything at all. It looks like it will not. Oh my god, massive yoinks here. The Vipers getting abducted. Dark doing a great job just abducting everything. He's got so many Vipers, 7 of them. soO does have 4, even after losing a few. They don't have that much energy. And now a massive lurker. 25 lurkers being morphed for Dark. Oh my god, this is insane. 5 more Vipers on the way for soO. He knows he needs more, but he just doesn't have the lurker count. How do you deal with 36 lurkers and 7 Vipers? How do you deal with that? I think the answer might be you don't. I'm not really sure, but you could just blinding cloud the entire battlefield here if you're Dark, and he is going to do that. He's going to move forward. We do see some blinding clouds from soO as a bunch of Hydras pop out, but Hydras are so squishy. They are just never going to win this fight, and there's so many Vipers out for soO. A lot of them, I think, don't have energy because he didn't have time to absorb energy from his buildings. He is now going to suck the health out of the Evo chamber in about half a second, but that's going to give him the energy to start yoinking. And as these lurkers try to retreat, they are just going to get smushed. I say, and 1 dies. Roach Warren going to lose some health now as well, but it looks like soO's on pure Hydra Lurker Viper. Dark's pretty much just on Lurker Viper. He was like, Hydras? Why build Hydras when I can just build more lurkers? Hydras are just lurkers, but not as good, right? Damn, and now it's soO's turn to go into 14 more lurkers. The banks are pretty much gone at this point. soO is finally mining from this base. Actually, kind of a big deal here is Dark has mined from this base for a long time. He's going to have a lot less available here. So he's got to take this base now. But soO's got this perfect, beautiful, fresh base that he just started mining from. But Dark's got this base up, and he can start transferring some drones over to it. God, this is insane. What is this ZVZ, man? This is wild. soO taking... Oh, soO's just taking every single base on this side of the map. I kind of wish, instead of here, he had taken a hatch here to mine the backside of these minerals. It's a little bit less exposed. You don't get the gas, but you would get all these minerals a little bit more easily. I don't think it's going to matter, though. I feel like that base is not going to stay up either way. But these ones might for soO. And we're seeing Dark has not tried to take this one just yet. Or this gold. I've actually never seen this gold taken, so I'm kind of excited for that. soO might try to put some pressure on soon. Looks like he's just trying to stay defensive. This is a very, very paltry force, though. If Dark decides to push down this ramp at all, soO's just going to lose everything here. But I think if that happened, he might try to maneuver around and get in a good position with the rest of his army. A little hard to say. Oh, my God. Hydra's dodging those lurker spines just barely. Kind of forget that lurker spines do take travel time. They don't hit instantaneously. You can dodge them. It's kind of funny watching like 4 lurkers try to hit 1 marine. And the marine just happens to be running sideways, so it just dodges every single shot. It's hilarious. All right, Dark is like, nah, I don't want to let you take this base. soO's trying. Oh, he's gonna mine one trip. He might get 2 out of it. This is taking a while. And he's just gonna absolutely let that go. And then the 3rd trip, can the drone get away? Oh, let him go. Well, he gets something. Was it worth it? Not really. Dark also moving down here, working on soO's 6th base. This isn't the most important base for soO. That would probably be this one. But it is important that he deals with that. So he's going to send some Hydras, Lurkers, and Overseers up to try to deal with this. Hydra's not going to do so well, but the Lurkers will. Ooh, big parasitic bombs onto these Vipers. They are eating a ton of damage. Oh my God, that is huge. Oh, look how low they all are. Another parasitic bomb or 2, and a lot of those, if not all of them, will die. soO gets the defense of this base up. 5th and 6th base is not really mining on the low worker count here. Dark has actually gone up. He was, yeah, over 70 workers for the first time in this game. Dark trying to build that bank as quickly as possible, I guess. Oh, parasitic bombs absolutely everywhere. Oh, no, the Vipers. Oh, we got Vipers dying from splash damage here. On both sides, Vipers just exploding. Dark still has 9, but it looks like most of those just popped out. Only a couple of them living from that fight. 8 more on the way for soO, but they are a little bit later. And that means that Dark's going to be able to push forward with the healthy Viper count and the healthy energy count on those Vipers. He's finally going to try to take this base. Actually, a little misplaced, but good lurker placement here from soO. Dark going to try to move forward. It's going to be a little harder for those Vipers to find too much purchase with the Spore Crawlers here, but Blinding Clouds are just going to be so sick. Blinding Clouds, some Abducts. Does lose a lurker on the retreat, though. soO's still holding on, and now he's got the rest of those Vipers out there a little bit low on juice, but they're going to just try to kill this hatchery here. I'd love to see him kill the extractors. Yeah, there he goes. Sucking juice from the extractors. And get as much energy as possible from them. Dark going to walk into the range of these lurkers. I don't really like this army movement from him. He will grab a burrow. Oh, we got some yoinks on both sides. We got some parasitic bombs. Yoinks everywhere. Just yoink all the Vipers. soO falling in supply a little bit. He's got the money to remake units, so he might just be contemplating what to make. Exactly how many lurkers he has and how many he wants. Does he want more Vipers? Dark gonna push forward over here and start try to take down some of the Spore Crawlers a little bit. Oh my God, a parasitic bomb on these would be so juicy, and there it is. Dark getting a really nice parasitic bomb, doing a lot of splash damage on those Vipers. Only like 4 Vipers here for soO right now, but he's gonna be able to yoink a couple of lurkers. Dark holding a good position here, but soO's still able to mine. And he's still mining over here. He's got gas mining at both of these bases, a little bit of minerals being mined. And he's taken this gold, the one that Dark tried to take. Dark, in the meantime, has taken this gold. They've kind of flip-flopped on the golds. Oh, Dark's going to try to push in. There are a lot of lurkers. Deceptive amount of lurkers here for soO, but they're pretty far back. However, if he gets some yoinks in, he should be just fine. Yoinks, parasitic bombs going off again. Oh, it's going to be a lot of dead Vipers here for soO, I feel like. Dark still posturing and actually counterattacking with some Hydras, with some Lurkers. But there are some units on top of this ramp here. Be able to buy a little bit of time. Oh, the Lurkers are just so brutal here. Dark in a good spot, but it looks like he lost his Overseers. So he's got to back up, build a new Overseer. He's going to keep the pressure on. He's going to dive forward. Oh, there's no support here for these Lurkers. soO backing out of the Blinding Cloud, but that leaves the base super exposed. He brought all the Hydras away, all the Vipers away. They will come back now. Hydra's trying to dive forward. Blinding Cloud's going down, forcing those Lurkers to retreat. They do retreat to a good spot. Does soO have more energy? More Blinding Clouds. Only 1 or 2 of Dark's Lurkers fighting, but it's going to be just enough with some Hydras to push this away. 16 workers going down in the meantime, though. Oh, this is really, really nice here for Dark. Great Lurker positioning. soO does hold this base. He holds the high ground, but he does not hold this base, and he is going to tap out as he's fallen down to 150 supply, and he doesn't feel like he can keep up with Dark anymore. Dark wins the war of attrition in the 28-minute game. Sorry, I had to wait for everybody to get out of the game before the timer popped up. That man, that's a ZVZ. We've seen Ling Bane Wars, seen Roach Wars, and now we've gotten to Hydra Lurker Viper Wars. It's kind of funny as the series has gone on. We just get deeper and deeper. Was that game 2? Jesus. We're tied 1-1. Good times. Good times. Aw, Jean Sim, that's adorable. That's adorable. I love it. Kitties and naps. Name a better duo. Can't do it. Can't do it. Looks like Dark might need a break here for a minute, so we got a second to chill. This is exciting stuff. Waiting for game number 3. I'm glad this is really competitive, like insanely competitive. I was a little worried. Dark has a tendency to just crush his opponent sometimes. Even if it starts to look good, like he will just crush his opponents. But soO standing up to him piece by piece. We did get to see that Dark's late game is definitely stronger than soO's. We saw that. I mean, soO was holding on, but it felt like soO was holding on and just deflecting as much as possible for the last 15 minutes of that game. And that's not the position you want to be in. You want to be the one putting pressure on, right? You want to be doing the more successful run bys and getting better trades when you're doing all the abducts and lurker movements. It just felt like Dark was taking a little piece at a time, until eventually soO was like, nah, can't handle it anymore. soO's late game, I feel like, has never been his super strength, He does better if the game gets scrappy instead of like big macro games like that. That being said, Dark is also very good in those scrappy situations. Man, it's hard to fill time on your own. I don't know what to say. Too tired now. I'm just excited for more ZVZ. Here's the problem. I'm going to put this on YouTube, but because it takes too long to edit these videos, I'm not going to be able to edit this out. If I was editing, I'd be like, psh, cut this right out. But it takes like hours to do that. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, why is there just absolutely nothing happening for like 8 minutes in the middle of this video? Yeah, I'm sorry. If I had anticipated it being this long, I'd have told you to skip ahead. But we can't skip ahead. We're here live. We just gotta wait it out. Oh, it looks like Dark's back. All right, there we go. Now we're loading in. Last week, soO did beat Dark? Really? I wasn't watching that side of the bracket. Huh. What was last week? What was the finals last week? No, last week was Dark versus Classic in the finals. Was it in a different tournament maybe? I mean, I'm sure they've played in a lot of stuff. That's good to know, though. I didn't realize that he had a victory recently. See if we can get another one today as we hop into map number 3. We're all tied up here on Gresvan. Spawning in the upper left-hand corner for the Afrika Freaks, it is the Blue Zerg. soO. Taking on 2019 Blizzcon World Champion and defeater of non-Koreans. For Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is Dark. 2019 BlizzCon Champion, 2019 Katowice Champion. Who's the strongest? It's the eternal question. soO for the win again in Katowice. Oh, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can agree with that. It would be very cool to see him do really well, even if he didn't win. It'd be cool to see him do like really well in Katowice. Because since he's been back, he's looked solid, but it doesn't feel like he's in form to go win a tournament right now. But I mean, if he was to make it to like the top 4 or something, that would still be insanely impressive. It's kind of hard to say who's the favorite going into Katowice. I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a sick tournament. Yeah. I don't know. It feels like one of the first proper Katowices since ESL took over StarCraft. Not that the other ones haven't been proper in terms of like the gameplay or anything. They absolutely have been. But I don't know. 2022 felt like the first year where we had more LANs with audiences and things like that. We've had patches this year. I don't know. It's exciting. It's exciting going into Katowice right now, and I'm really stoked on it. Obviously, we've got Stormgate coming in the pipeline as well, which pretty much the entire StarCraft community is holding our breath for. But it's really nice that we're not just idling with StarCraft in the meantime. That's kind of what I thought we'd be doing, is just idling with StarCraft while we wait for Stormgate and just kind of hoping that this game is still fun. But it absolutely is still fun. We're still getting changes. We're actually getting really sick map changes. And I know there's been a lot of back and forth on the maps, but that's exciting to me. back and forth on the maps. Let's talk about this game, because Dark's gathering Lings in his main base right now. He's got 8 more on the way, and Ling speed is getting pretty close to finishing. It's actually going to be done a little bit sooner for him than for soO. soO does have a Bane Nest on the way, but it's only halfway done. He has got to recognize what he's up against soon. Ooh, I think it's going to feel very late by the time he sees these Lings running across the map. This third base might be in a lot of trouble. He's going to put down an Evo chamber to help block off the wall here. Dark might just spot this and see more Lings coming out and go for the third. No, he's just going to dive on top of it. Stutter stepping his way through with the Lings, getting on top of these queens. Hop goes 1, hop goes 2. And the third one is not going to be too far behind. This Ling speed is just crushing soO right now, as is the lack of wall. Drones fighting, drones dying. They're starting to pull away. Just try to buy a little bit more time for more Lings to come out. But it's just not enough here for soO. As these Lings coming across for Dark, they're too plentiful. They're too quick. They're too winged. The winged Lings. I feel like Dark is just going to be able to do so much damage here. Even if soO's able to hold on, he's just going to be so far behind. I mean, the drone count's pretty much even right now. He doesn't have any Banes on the way. If there was like 2 Banes on top of the ramp, I could believe. But it just feels like it's never going to be enough Lings out for soO, because every time he makes 2 Lings, Dark makes 2 Lings also. Dark's already ahead 12. Queen trying to hold the ramp. There is 1 Baneling being morphed, but it's not quite gonna finish. GG gets called as that Baneling does not connect. soO, forced to tap out there, does not win in the Ling Bane Wars this time. The lack of Banelings being very notable there. And just such a late scout on what was coming his way. Wasn't able to get a good wall in. Dark smelled blood in the water. There's no one better than Dark. Smelling that blood and just getting it. Not me to hit the mic. Sorry about that. But he does. He gets the blood. And he wins a very quick game 3. Counting. Again, very difficult. But now we go to game 4. Dark on match point. Match point here against soO. Man, the ZVZ has been so good. The thing about ZVZ is I feel like we all got really tired of it in like 2018, 2019. It's been a while since I've seen a lot of ZVZ. Really good. It's a really good matchup. It might be the most exciting mirror matchup. I mean, even that super long game was really, really sick. Well, let's get into game number 4 here. We're on Neo Humanity and on match point in yet another Grand Finals. I think this is 3 weeks in a row of Grand Finals appearances for this man. It is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Dark. Excuse me. Voice did not want to say Dark. His opponent in the lower right-hand corner. It is, of course, the blue Zerg for the Afrika Freaks, soO. He's got to pull it back right here, right now. He's got to win 2 in a row against one of the strongest Zerg players in the world. Tough thing to do, but of course he has the skills to do it. Last game felt pretty one-sided, but that was just solid strategy from Dark. And again, smelling blood in the water. When I saw that wall with the queens, I think a lot of more conservative players might have just gone after the third, forced to cancel, maybe gotten the kill, then tried to push the front. You know, you get the guaranteed damage, and then you try to get some more. But if you can't, you pull back, you play it safe. Dark, he's really good at playing it safe when that's the play. But as soon as it's not the play, as soon as the play is go for it, cut off his throat, Dark just does it. He does it. He's got the, whatever that is, to just drive in there with the Lings. Sees the third. He says, no. No, I can just bust this wall right now. You don't have enough. You don't have enough. I got this. And he did. soO held on for as long as he could, but Baneling's just feeling so late. Queen's going down right away. The wall, not much of a wall. And now we're in game 4. So far, things looking pretty calm, relaxed. soO beat Dark in the America's Open Cup. I see. But lost to Hero Marine. No shame in losing to the largest of games. I do love the America's Cup for that reason. I love casting the Korean Cup because we do like 4 matches and they're all absolute bangers. But the America's Cup is great because you do get those Europeans that stay up late. You get the Koreans that have woken up early. Of course, you get the Americans who are just kind of chilling midday, having a good time. And you end up with some really interesting matchups that you just don't see in a lot of other places, which I always just find super fun. Gabe versus soO, I feel like, is not a matchup you expect to see too often. Dark going for the Evo Chamber Roach Warren here. No Bane Nest. soO might be able to take advantage of that. His Evo Chamber a little bit later. His Roach Warren going to be quite a bit later. But could definitely push across the map with some Lings and Banes at the moment and make life a little bit difficult for Dark. He does have a couple of Banes morphing. I think they're at home now. Well, let's find out. Oh, no, they're in the middle of the map. All right. So he's got a handful of Lings out here. Dark does have some Lings to help defend. He's got the Queen. And with this Roach Warren, he should be able to get some Roaches out too. But with Carapace here being upgraded, that tells me that Dark's planning on going with a all-in. It's maybe a bit of a strong word for it, but it could be. Certainly going to be a big attack. He's going to go for just pure Roachling, no Banes. Carapace helps him immensely with the Lings against the Banelings. They don't die in one splash damage shot. soO has +1 missile attacks on the way, but again, that Roach Warren not quite done yet. Might want to get some Roaches as we do have Roaches on the way for Dark. And Dark's sitting at 35 drones. He is not going higher than that. soO still droning right now. He has not recognized that this is what's coming. Carapace isn't quite done yet, so Dark needs to be careful still, as those Banelings can pop a ton of Lings with one connection. As we saw in game 1, actually, Dark a little bit careless in game 1, and that's how he lost that one. But now he's got more units moving across. soO is going to spot this with the Overlord. Is he paying attention? He's got 9 Roaches on the way. He drops 2 Spine Crawlers at the 3rd base. They're not going to be done for a while, though. Are we going to see some more Banelings morphed here? Actually, a little bit surprised at the lack of Banes. I think it's still just the 2. Those 2 need to get a massive connection for this to really work. And it just doesn't feel like they're going to get the connection they need. Trying to stay away from the Roaches, but one of them gets popped by the Roaches. The other one trying to come in. It is getting stuck on the drones. And down it goes. The Spine Crawlers might be able to get up. There's so much here for Dark. I think there might just be too much here for Dark. And soO looks like he's going to fall to this Carapace attack. Trying to run the drones away. They're not going to get out of there. GG gets called. Dark just crushes through in games 3 and 4 to take the series 3-1. What a crazy series. Dark going for 3 very, very aggressive, borderline all-in games. Loses the first one, wins the second 2. But in the middle of it, we just have this insanely long macro game, which, to be fair, was off the back of a 12-pool proxy Spine Crawler from Dark. So I guess he went for 4 very fast, aggressive games. The proxy Spine Crawler was so sick. It's funny that that ended up developing into a 30-minute game. Ah, man. ZVZ. What a good matchup. Dark takes it, though. Gets revenge for the America's Cup last week. And soO looking very strong as we're heading towards the World Finals, but quite there to take down Dark in this Grand Finals.